This is not clickbait, but it's also not a decision that I've made lightly. It's something that I've really been considering for the last 2 years. But this video will be my last video on this channel. And I want to say from the get go that it's not burnout. I feel like that's most commonly the reason why YouTubers stop making videos, but then they come back to it when they get over the burnout. This is not that. It's not that I can't continue, it's that I'm actively choosing not to. And I know I don't have this huge channel where I really need to make this video because there's not going to be that many people affected. But I want to share my honest reasons for why I'm quitting, because I feel like there's a part of me that wished I knew certain things before I started on YouTube. And so I hope by making this video, I might help other creators who are on this journey or who want to be on this journey. Because I feel like I've been so lucky to have this really good understanding of what it means to be a creator. And part of that is because I've been on YouTube for 4 years, but I also worked at a startup in the creator economy and then went freelance in the creator economy. I hosted a podcast where I spoke to hugely successful creators about what they were doing and what their businesses were. I was part of a creator community where the average person was making something like $30,000 a month. And just generally, I have a lot of friends who are just in this space. So I guess I'm making this video for two reasons. One, even though my audience is relatively small, there's still a community there. There's still people that have been showing up, watching my videos, waiting for me to upload. And I really do feel like I owe it to those people and I really do appreciate them. I just want that sense of closure for this channel. But also too, for anyone who's a creator themselves or who wants to be one, I really want to just give you an honest insight into what it's like and to maybe help you have a little bit more of a strategy with it. So let's start right at the beginning. I have always loved YouTube. I used to watch YouTube during my revision breaks at university and at school, and deep down, I always thought it was just so cool. And there was a part of me that wished I could do that, but I genuinely never thought I could. So I went to university and I became a dentist and I started working. And then lockdown hit, and because I was locuming at the time, I didn't have a job for I think it was like 8 months. And so suddenly I had all of this time and I just thought, you know what, fuck it. I'm so tired of getting my own way. I just want to try something that I really want to do and just see what happens. I didn't really have any expectations. I didn't really have a plan. I just wanted to try it and I loved it. I fell in love with the process of creating YouTube videos straight away and I got so into it. And I think that's what the first 1 to 2 years of being a creator are like. You're having fun with it, you're experimenting, you're learning new skills, you're meeting new people. And I feel like that gave me so much. Firstly, confidence. My younger self would never have believed that I would have been on YouTube and that I would have grown my channel in the way that I did, that I would have put myself out there in the way that I did. And I don't know, like I just always found it so hard to even connect with people in my real life. Like I've always struggled with, things like friendships, which I've shared on this channel. And so being on YouTube and like connecting with people through my videos, it really just helped me to understand that like I am capable of actually connecting with people. And I don't know, it's just so cheesy, I guess, but I feel like I really kind of found a bit of my inner child through doing YouTube. It just felt so good to be able to share parts of myself online and to be seen for that, It just gives you so much confidence. I mean, I used to really struggle with social anxiety back when I was at university, and I honestly can tell you that since starting YouTube, I just feel like I pretty much never experienced that anymore. Like that's almost fully gone away. I've also managed to really connect with people who I never thought I'd connect with, like Ali Abdal and Matt Diavella. These are YouTubers who I really looked up to, and it just showed me, one, what I was capable of, but two, there's no room that you don't deserve to belong in. Like it doesn't matter how big or small you are, like you can help yourself get into any room you want to be just by trying and putting yourself out there. And I think that was a really good lesson for me to learn. I feel like I'm nothing like who I was before I started my YouTube channel, but yet I'm more me than I ever was. YouTube has also given me not just connection, but genuine friendships. Like aside from the mum friends I've met since having a baby, all of my friendships come from YouTube in some way or form. And this is one thing that I really did not expect, because if I'm honest with you, when I looked at YouTubers and I kind of aspired to have that kind of lifestyle, I really envied their fact that they could just be on their laptops at home filming it and not having to really see anyone. Like my introverted self loved that concept, But actually, YouTube has really given me that opposite. It's given me more connection and friendships and more of a social life. Like, the friends that I've made are the most supportive friends I could ever have. Like, we both support each other with our goals and our dreams, and it just feels so genuine because we've connected over not just being somewhere convenient like at school, we've connected over something a little bit more deeper, and that feels so good. I've talked about experiencing loneliness on this channel so many times before. I think it's my most popular video. But I can honestly say, since starting YouTube, I don't think I've really felt lonely. Like, I haven't felt lonely in such a long time, and I really just feel like YouTube has changed that. And then also my career. My career has completely changed through doing YouTube. I didn't have to become a full-time YouTuber for that to happen. A startup reached out to me and they gave me a career path that I just never thought I would ever have. I was able to leave my job as a dentist. I was able to work from home, to travel, to earn pretty well, and to learn about the startup world, which was completely foreign to me and something I never thought I would experience. I didn't even really know what a startup was. And so as a dentist, this person who always had this plan, it's just something I never could have dreamed of or imagined. I'm just so glad I got to have all of those experiences. So all in all, I can honestly say that YouTube absolutely changed my life. I mean, I don't even have a big channel. And this is a thing. It's such a myth that you need to have this large audience to be able to be successful or to create opportunities or to just change your life in some way. Like, that is not true at all. YouTube has given me so much and I haven't regretted it for a minute. But I also want to talk about the reality of being a YouTuber or even just a creator and why I'm quitting. So like I said, for the first 1 to 2 years, for me anyway, being a YouTuber really was just experimenting, having fun, throwing things at the wall, and just learning new skills. But after those first 2 years, you really do begin to wonder, where is this all going? Like, what's a long-term projection of me doing this? Do I want to be a full-time YouTuber? And my honest answer to that question was always no. I don't want to be a full-time YouTuber. And I have a lot of reasons for that. So like I said, I've had this really good perspective of what it means to be a creator, and especially what it means to make being a creator your career path. I've honestly spoken to so many creators, whether that's YouTubers or writers or podcasters or influencers, and I noticed that these creators were either audience first or business first. So if they were business first, they started off with a business or have a business, and they use their content or they use their platform to funnel people into their business. And because of that, they have this really clear strategy. They know what kind of content they're creating, they know where it's going, and they're not as reliant on a large audience to make a living from it. And then you have creators who are primarily trying to just build their audience. They're not really sure where it's going to go. They're not really sure what kind of business they'll build out of it. They're just building and then going to see what happens. And the problem with these creators is I found that they were always so reliant on their views. They were so reliant on the algorithm. And this is exactly what I was doing, really. I was just growing my channel and then just seeing what would happen from it. I didn't really have a plan. But the problem with that is that the creators who have even 1 million subscribers, they still have those same pressures as someone with a small channel like mine. There's no difference, because without those views, it doesn't actually matter how big your audience is. You still need to try and make videos that pop off and go viral. You're still dependent on that. And that feeling is hard to sustain. I used to think that when I started YouTube that, when I grow my channel, when it becomes bigger, things will get so much easier. But that was never the case. If anything, the more subscribers I had, I actually found it harder, because suddenly I had something that I wanted to maintain. And it just felt weird to have some videos with loads and loads of views and then others with just hardly any views at all. And I just felt so tied to the algorithm that eventually I realized that I just do not want this. I also did a YouTuber accelerator program with Paddy Galloway. For anyone who doesn't know him, he's honestly one of the best in the game. He's worked with some of the most top creators like Mr. Beast, and his program was the best program I've ever been on for YouTube. It was so good. But it also made me realize that I'm just not meant for this game. Like, I just don't want to make viral videos. I don't want to have to come up with good thumbnails and titles that make people click. Like, I've done it once or twice without trying to really, but I can tell you now that YouTube is not easy. Like, people make it look so easy on the outside, but it's so hard and it is so much strategy. Like, so much strategizing goes into it. And I found it personally quite exhausting. Like, I just didn't want to keep up with that. I love everything else. Like, I love writing YouTube ideas. I like the filming, I like the editing, but I really did not like the strategy that goes on behind the scenes with a YouTube channel. The other thing that I always struggled with when it came to YouTube is this idea of niche. Most people nowadays will say that you don't really need a niche, like you are the niche. And that's technically true. You can be the niche, and that does help to differentiate you. But I find that unless you have this clear niche or this clear, not even niche, but like this clear idea of how you want to help people, I just feel like you then end up trying to find content within your own life or trying to create things in your life just to make content. And that never sat well with me. So for example, I've tried productivity systems just so I could make a YouTube video out of it to share my experience, rather than it being this really organic part of my life. And this is so much harder if you're a full-time creator because you no longer have your 9-to-5 job to show us footage in your YouTube videos. You're now forced to show more of your personal life. And I started YouTube with the intention of never really sharing my personal life. You know, when I started YouTube, I was in such a different place to what I am now. Like, I was living on my own in an apartment, and now I'm married and I have a baby. So yeah, at the start, I was okay with sharing some personal experiences that I've gone through and kind of got past, like, you know, not having many friends or feeling like I wasted my 20s or dealing with social anxiety or leaving my job as a dentist. I was fine with sharing that, but I was never comfortable sharing my family on the internet. And now my family is, you know, such like my personal life is my family life. Like, they're the same. There's no clear distinction between them anymore for me to be able to pick and choose what I share. I really just want to be present for my real life and not make content of it. Not that I judge anyone who's doing that, but just personally for me, I'm not comfortable with that. I look back and I'm so glad that I didn't share my engagement on YouTube or my wedding or my pregnancy or giving birth or any of those things, because those things are just so sacred to me and my family. I just feel like my family deserve to have their own lives and not have it shaped by my decision to be on social media. Like, especially my daughter, she really deserves to have this social media free childhood like what I had, because I feel like that's just so valuable. And this is a problem. Like, I spend so much time with my family. Like, that is just my priority in life. So if I'm spending the majority of my time with my daughter, how can I just fill my life for YouTube? Because I can't. She's there all the time and I don't want her in the videos. I don't mind talking about motherhood in the sense of how it shaped me as an individual and just sharing just like the back of my daughter's head and kind of only really sharing the way that she's affected me as an individual rather than talking about her. I also just feel like I don't want to change the way I go about my life or trying to create things in my life just to create content out of it. And even though I think being authentic is so important in general, but also as a creator, because especially with AI, like, authenticity is so important. I also don't think authenticity is the same as oversharing. Like, I think we do need to know the difference. And for me, oversharing would be sharing those sacred parts of my life. So with all of these reasons in mind that I've listed, like, I knew very early on that I didn't want to be a full-time creator. I think I made that decision probably about 2 years ago, if I'm honest, maybe even longer. Like, I knew that I just wanted this to be something on the side, but not be my entire career path, because I would never make a good full-time YouTuber. And so even after having a baby, I was so at peace with my decision to come back to YouTube, because I thought, yeah, I can do it on the side, have no pressure of growing the channel because it's not, you know, my sole focus. And I can just make content on career paths and focus more on that side of my life rather than anything personal. And I was so happy about that. But back in January, I started my own business. So I went back to dentistry in some way, and I've started building a dental membership platform to help people in the UK get more affordable dental care. And it's only been going on for, like, what is it now, 4 or 5 months? But honestly, like, I am so excited about it. It's something I genuinely believe in. And I feel like I'm actually making a difference in some way. I'm solving a real problem. And this is something I really struggled with when it came to YouTube. You know, I wanted to be someone who could create value, but I never really knew what that value was. even though I got loads of really nice comments and supportive people saying, that I inspired them or that video was so helpful and is exactly what they needed at that time, it was more putting something out there and hoping it would have an impact rather than me having this really clear mission of what I was doing and the difference I wanted to make. With this business, I just feel so lit up and I'm really enjoying it. The feedback has been amazing. I just want to put more energy into that. I do still enjoy YouTube, but even a 10-minute YouTube video takes a long time to film and edit. It's not something I can do really quickly. Those 10 hours it takes me to make one YouTube video is something that I could then spend on my business or with my daughter. YouTube, out of all of the platforms, is the one that takes the most time, the most energy, the most effort. It's definitely probably the most rewarding platform, but it requires so much of you. And right now, I just don't have any of that to give. And so I still want to create, but for me, it just makes more sense now to be on platforms that don't require as much time because I just don't have that time. I also honestly want to say that there is just so much content out there, especially in my niche. And this is across YouTube, this is across all platforms, that I can honestly say that I'm a little bit bored of it. I don't know if it's just AI or because I've been online for so long. I don't know what it is, but I don't even really enjoy going online now and watching someone give advice. Like, it just gets so repetitive. And so it's so hard to create when you don't even enjoy consuming that kind of content yourself. And so the content that I enjoy consuming these days is usually podcasts, but those people have clear expertise or experience to make them someone that I want to listen to. Or it's vlogs. But again, I don't want to be a vlogger. Like, I don't want to share my life. So I just feel like there's nowhere I would sit comfortably with YouTube anymore. I wouldn't rule out ever going back to YouTube one day, but I feel like if I ever did go back to YouTube, it would be with a really clear angle of why I was there and what I wanted to do. So if you do want to create a YouTube channel, I think there are a few ways you can go about it to make sure that you not only become successful, but that you can maintain that long game with it. So I think that's either starting a business and building content around that, having this clear hobby or interest or expertise in creating content around that. If you're making content from your professional background with your clear knowledge and expertise, if you have a podcast and you're creating with other people, so other guests, if you're happy to just vlog or film your whole life, including some of your personal aspects, and just be more of a lifestyle creator, or if you're happy to have your job outside of YouTube and manage both at the same time. So that way your job takes the pressure of having to maintain high views to make a living, but then also your job gives you more interesting content to share online without having to rely on your personal life. Now, obviously, this is just my personal opinion, but it is based on what I've seen from so many creators, and especially some of the most successful creators. Now, I'm sure there are exceptions to this, but I feel like on the whole, with YouTube specifically, you do have to fall into one of these categories to be successful on YouTube or just to make it sustainable for the long term, because otherwise you could become successful in the short term and then just lose that success or decide that you don't want to have it anymore. Now, here's the thing, I still love to create. I'm someone who thrives when I express myself, and I genuinely do believe in the power of the internet. I know social media is not the best thing for you. I know it's got its downfalls, and there's a part of me that honestly hates it, but it does also open so many doors. And if you use it in the right way, I feel like you can just connect with so many people. So I still will be creating, and I'm going to be on probably LinkedIn and my newsletter Unraveled, where I will share my experiences of building this business and continuing to carve out my own path. Since telling some people that I want to quit YouTube, I've had some people say, like, you've just worked so hard on this, you've built it to such a good amount, it's such a great achievement, like, how could you let it go? But honestly, like, I walked away from being a dentist. Like, I've done that before. I don't believe you should work on things for those things to then become your cage. I think they should become the building blocks that help you to grow even further. I want to say genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to anyone who has watched a video, commented, or just connected with me in some way through this platform. It honestly just means so much to me. And I don't want to sound corny here, even though I know I'm gonna, but I just feel like as a creator, we often think about the value we're trying to give to our audience, but we never really think about the value that our audience gives us. And I don't even just mean this from like a monetary aspect. I mean it on this like deeper human level. Like, being here has just made me feel so seen, so valued, and it's really just made me believe in myself in a way that I never used to believe in myself. It's given me so much courage. And I used to have so much fear and self-doubt, and it's just, yeah, I just feel like being here has changed that so much. And so if you are watching this and if you want to maybe start a YouTube channel, honestly, do it. It will change your life. You don't even have to have a dream of being a full-time YouTuber for you to start a YouTube channel. Like, just do it, honestly. And it doesn't even have to be YouTube, honestly. If it's you want to start singing, or if you want to start writing a book, or if you want to be a professional chocolate taster, or whatever it is, putting yourself outside of your comfort zone and trying the things that you really want to try will just help you to be closer to who you are and the life that you're meant to have. And a lot of the time, you just can't predict what will happen. YouTube was honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. But like I always say on this channel, you have to honor the person that you are now. You can't stay attached to past achievements or the future dreams that you once had. You have to listen to yourself. And that's kind of what I always encourage people here to do, just to listen to themselves and to build their own path, even when it doesn't make sense and even when it's messy. And that's what I'm hoping to continue to do. So, I hope I see you around another platform. But yeah, stay intentional and goodbye.